In the previous video, we have talked about useStateHook. Now we're going to talk about useEffectHook. It lets you perform side effects in your functional component. It is similar to ComponentDidMount, ComponentDidUpdate, or ComponentWillMount method. You can perform data fetching in useEffect. You can set up some subscription. If you want to manually change the DOM, you can do in the useEffect. These are the use cases of useEffect. You can run some additional code after React has updated the DOM. You can perform network request, manual DOM mutations, or logging are the common example of useEffects. If you have used class-based component, you define the state in this way. If you want to perform DOM manipulation or data fetching, you will do in the ComponentDidMount method. Let's say I'm going to fetch the data from the JSON placeholder API. They have created the fake online REST API for testing and the prototyping. Let's say I have this API. I would like to fetch the 10 users. So I want to send the API request to this URL, JSON placeholder. Let's create a new user. First of all, I will teach you with the help of class-based component. Then you will understand the benefit or the use case of the useEffect. I'm going to create the user list component, and it is going to extending the react.component class. You can also define the state in this way in class-based component. Let's say I will have the users array, and if you want to fetch the data, you basically use the ComponentDidMount. This method will run called immediately after a component is mounted. You can set the state here. Whenever the state will be changed, this ComponentDidMount will be called. Yeah, basically if you update the state here, it will re-render the component. It's called immediately after the component is mounted. Now let's log something here. Component mounted, or I'm going to perform the render method here. It is going to return a simple div. Let's say I would like to get the users length, total users. So we created this component user list. Now I would like to render this here inside my index.js file. I can say the users list. Make sure you imported the users list. I'm going to open the project on the localhost colon 3000. Now you can see that there is no user. User length is 0, but you will see the method component mounted successfully. Component mounted first, then you can see the render. First it has called the render, that component mounted called. So actually we have to log the render here. Log inside this render. Now you can see the component has mounted, then it has called this ComponentDidMount method. After successfully mounted, it is going to call this method. So you can perform the API call by using the fetch. Fetch is used to send the API request in the front-end application, it is going to return the promise. So I'm gonna copy this URL and I'm gonna paste it here. It is going to return the promise, so we have to resolve this promise. It is going to give me the response, and it is also going to return the promise, so we have to resolve another promise. Now I can log the response. If something went wrong, you can log the error. Total users length is empty because I did not update the state here. So I got the 10 records of the user. So we successfully fetched the data from the API. You can also set the state here, or I can say this dot set state users. Now you can see that total users are 10. In the next video, I'll teach you how can you perform the same ComponentDidMount logic with the help of use effect. And this time and that time, you will not use the classes.